Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Another great edition of Bring It in the House podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. We got another great meal for you tonight. In the house is independent musician, artist, and of course, he is, let me get all this right. He's producer, internet radio host, and program director of GHP Radio. Let's give it up for Gary Houston. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Millie. Millie, so happy to see you and also happy to see you again.
Thank you so much, Gary, for stopping by. It is such a pleasure to see you after all these years. Man, we've been in the same arena for what, about 25, 30 years now?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, got that connection to our buddy Ray, who's passed away. But but we got connected back a few years ago, and my good, yes.
Yeah, here we are. Now, we'd like to open up the show with a shout out to your native town. Tell us where you're originally from, Gary.
Okay, well, I'm originally from El Reno, Oklahoma. That's right outside of Oklahoma City. It's about 20 minutes. And I've lived here. I'm born, raised here in El Reno, Oklahoma. Of course, like I said, I'm so close to Oklahoma City. I usually say Oklahoma City because that's where most of my businesses is and everything that I do. So, but yes, that's where I'm from. Believe it or not, here in Okie.
How far is that from the Dallas or Austin area? Do you know?
Now from the Austin area, I would say it would probably be somewhere like, I would say 5, maybe. I know it takes me about 3 hours to get to Dallas. So whatever it takes to Dallas to get to Austin, add that on.
Yeah, so we look at about 5.5. Yep. Congratulations, man, on all your success. Over 25 years in the music production in the genres of jazz, soul, R&B, and hip hop. You should feel real proud of yourself. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Labor love. Of course, I do this. I've been doing this for a lot of years, on the side of my regular jobs, that I do. But it's amazing to kind of take time and look back and on the time that's passed, over the years. It's just crazy. I still can't believe it's been almost, I want to say like 20 years or more since my very first music got dropped online, so which is pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy. So your first project that you dropped online, what was that called?
It was called The Best of G Houston. And, it's kind of wild because most people do like best of after they do a whole lot of, collection of music. And at the time when I released that CD, well, I had already had a whole lot of music already recorded. I've done a lot of stuff that I had just been kind of stockpiling. And in fact, when I did the first release, it was like right around about the time, like I want to say like 2002, 2001. And I was just kind of new to putting my music online at that time. So it was kind of wild because they had a service called mp3.com. And actually, I was kind of new to getting online too at that point, because I remember I got my very first PC or computer in 2000, and that was, if you remember, that was right before they were saying Y2K is coming.
Yeah, I remember.
So it was kind of wild. So I was kind of dumped into a whole new way of recording my music and doing things because before I used to do everything analog. I had like my setup. I had my drum machines and different sequencers and stuff, and of course we did everything on floppy disk and all that kind of stuff.
Sure did.
But yeah, that was the very first time. And a friend of mine who came over here from the UK, his name was Tom Fox. He came over to do a collab with me, and this was right around the same time because he had got a load of some of the music that I've been doing online through the online network, and it was right before I released that CD. And he was a vocalist. He came over because he said he was going to be in the States. He wanted to kind of get with me because he heard something that maybe we can kind of collaborate on. And so we did. We actually did an EP, and the track that we did together, the very first one was called Austin Nights. All right.
Really?
So he wrote the lyrics, but of course I had the music. So but anyway, I sent what, at that time, what started off to get him to come over to do the recordings with me on that very first Austin Night track. It was the very first time I actually did a collaboration with somebody that I wasn't in the studio with, because at that time, I was burning everything on CDs. So what I did, I burned the instrumental onto the CD, and I actually mailed it to him. We do it by email now, but I actually mailed this, all the way over there.
Yeah.
And then he took it to the studio, and they basically put his vocals on it. They sent it back, and I was amazed of how it came out. It was just really amazing, and it did pretty well, in its little, at that time, he did a lot of promotions over there, from UK all the way to France, and then we got some airplay on some like on the airplanes, when they play the music over the thing. We got some of those playlists and things like that. So it was kind of cool at the time. So
a lot of groundbreaking is what I'm hearing right there.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're a pioneer, because you were in that early phase of it, So gosh, that's such an amazing story, that to see all that development and how far you've come along. This is really great. And your instruments for production, you're so talented. I was reading that you of course, it includes guitar, piano, keyboard, synthesizer, drums, digital virtual instruments, etc., and so much more. So when did your musical journey begin for you? Was it like early on in grade school or college, or?
Yeah, it was definitely in school. When I was probably like, I want to say around age 10 or 12, we used to, me and my brother, my little brother, we both used to stay with our grandparents whenever our folks would go to work, every day, right? And so at that time, I had an aunt who she played for the church, and she played piano basically, and so she had an organ at the house, and so right around that time, I was, like I said, I was right around about 10, and I was just kind of really intrigued about this organ thing. I would hear her play, and when she would not, be around, I would always go over there, sit on the chair, and just kind of dibble dabble, and I would pick up stuff, like just listening to music on the radio and stuff. So I first had an inkling. I was like, wait a minute, because everybody was like, Gary, you picking up them notes, because I was playing it by ear, and so that kind of led into, Mom, I want to be in the band, in school and and all this. So that's how I got I got in junior high. I think that's basically when I first got into the school band. And I actually played drums. That's how I started out as a drummer. And actually, all the way until I graduated from high school, I was actually a drummer along with the band and everything. But at that same time, my senior year, me and two other friends of mine who were that played drums with me, we all decided we want to do something different. So, I bought a little guitar, or my parents did. They bought me a guitar, and Mark was his name, and played the bass. And then, of course, Marshall Newkirk, he was a drummer. And we got together and put a little band together. Turned out it picked up some singers, auditioned some people, and next thing you know, we're out playing locally here in Oklahoma, going to the colleges and doing what we did then. We was doing like cover songs, like R&B types of songs. So, like Bar Caves, Cameo, that kind of stuff. And it was really cool. And we did that for at least 2 years until I got I got a scholarship to go to Chickasha, USAO, University of Science and Arts. It was an art scholarship because I used to do drawing and all that kind of thing, and which was crazy. And that was just a side hobby. And so anyway, when I ended up going to the college, behold, we end up somehow I got into this thing that they had going up there, a jazz band. They want me to play guitar, with the jazz band. So that became a thing. And next thing I know it, I did the school for about 2 years. And then, of course, I kind of got dumped into the work world, and I left school for a while and decided that, that I'm going to start, doing me some home recording and stuff. I invested into some home recording equipment and just kind of took it from there. And that's how I was able to actually all them songs that I collected that I had already had before I put my first release out.
Wow, you had already done the work. See, Yeah, that puts you ahead of the game in a lot of ways, didn't it? Not only you play instruments, but you draw, you do sketches and everything, which is probably going to lead us to our next subject about the AI coming up pretty soon.
Yes.
Yes, man, it's amazing. Like we were talking about earlier, before we launched the show tonight. Well, you and I met all those years ago through a mutual friend. R.I.P. Rest in peace to Mr. Edward McDaniel. I have a photo of him that I want to share so people will know who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Yep, that's Ed. And then here's another picture, a group picture we took together. That was years ago. He's over to my far right, so I guess on the screen it might be to the far left, maybe.
Or
Yeah, but that's Ed, and he was, just like you guys were ahead of the game, because when he launched what iTrack Radio,
yes.
A lot of people weren't even doing internet radio at that time. So
you are so right. Yeah, it was amazing because I remember, Ray. I always call him Ray, of course.
Yes.
Okay, but he would always check in with me, like when he comes home to Oklahoma. He would basically come through town, and this was before me and him connected on doing the radio. But he would always come just to see what kind. I'm still doing the music. He always say, "Yeah, you still doing that music?" I said, "Yeah, man." And so then he said, "Well, man, I'm retired now from the service, so I'm ready to, I'm going to do this online radio thing." And I was just kind of like intrigued about it because I didn't know, anything about it. I just heard about people having these online radio networks, and he was like, "Man, you want to help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So that's kind of how that kind of got started because, he knew that I had the skills as far as music production and things like that. So that would have been a big plus in doing it. And yeah, man, if it wasn't for Ray, I don't think I would be doing, what I'm doing now. So,
yeah, that's amazing. How did you guys meet? You and Ray?
We met because he was actually from my hometown, El Reno. So all his family knows, our family. He was actually my uncle. I have an uncle that's around his age. I think they both went to school together at the same time. So that's kind of how we knew.
Yeah. Is El Reno a kind of large city or mid-size?
It's a very small town, actually. It's a small country town out on the outskirts of Oklahoma City. So, so for us, all of us that was raised in El Reno, for us to do anything like some exciting things, we always have to commute to Oklahoma City.
That's how it was in my hometown. You had to get away. I'm from Marvel, Arkansas originally, so it was small, and you had to get away, and you had to venture out if you had big dreams. Yeah. Are you currently? I know you're doing your music, but are you performing and touring anywhere right now, doing live shows? And if so, okay, I was about to say, if so, are you preparing to do a live show or any performances?
Okay, yeah. Now I'm not really actually doing any live things right at the moment. I'm basically focusing on doing just music production because I have a lot of folks, clients and stuff that has always looking to do like some new music or videos, of course. Like I've gotten really dragged into this video thing pretty heavy here lately. So that's been kind of keeping me kind of busy. But yeah, but as far as doing some live performance, the last time I did a live performance was at a CD release party. I did a CD release party some time back, and so that was an opportunity for me to get out and do some live stuff, and that's the thing. A lot of people, which is crazy, with all the music that I've done and my music library and everything, I got so much music. It's crazy, but a lot of people always used to ask me, if I would come to their city to play or have you or something like that. But I've never really actually had a band. I've always had to find some guys to play, come up and play. So like here in Oklahoma City, if I ever do have to do any live performing, I have a friend. His name is Walter Taylor III. He's a music director. He's a drummer, and he's basically in with all of your local musicians and artists here in the Oklahoma City area. So anytime I need to, get something, I holler at him, and he puts together something, and we go out and do our thing. But But yeah, it's been a minute. I'm hoping to do something in 26 though. Hopefully at some point.
Oh, that sounds exciting. We'll be looking out for that tour. Now, Gary, with today's music industry trends, it's so, it's different. You've seen it move in different directions. What inspires you to keep making music, to stay relevant out there like that? What drives you with all this competition today?
Yeah, well, what actually drives me is the music. I mean, it's just in my heart. It's just one of those things that I don't know. It's just, if somebody was to do something where I couldn't do the music, I don't know if would be able to survive.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just something that's in me. It's always been. I mean, I'm always thinking about music. I'm always in projects, doing things like that. So, yeah, it doesn't take too much to sway me.
Yeah, I get it. I was going to ask you kind of dumb, redundant question, like, what do you enjoy most about being a musician? But you kind of answered it because that's just who you are. But
yeah,
if you care to elaborate on that, you can.
Yeah, it's just basically who I am, and then in general, I'm just a creative person. I love to create, whether it's art or music, I love it all. All the facets of it, because it's just I don't know. I've just always been, growing up, I've always been interested in that kind of thing, and like I said, music's always been around, as a kid, all my family, music, everybody was into the music. Now that's the weird thing about it. I'm the only one out of my family that actually do music, but everybody, everybody, love music and stuff. But it's just, I'm the only one that actually took, went in and actually really took this as a side career, basically. Yeah, because a lot of people always ask me, they say, well, is anybody else in your family, play or sing or whatever? And I was like, no.
Yeah, and that was going to be one of my questions. Did you come from a long line of singers, musicians, and all of that? But you just answered it. You did not.
Oh,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So what they say, you got the gift and you got to use it.
Got to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what message do you want to convey to your listeners, through your music? What message do you hope they receive?
Well, I just want them to enjoy it, and I hope it makes them feel good. I like, I always, to me, I've always thought music in general, it can be healing for folks as well,
Yeah.
Or some, seem like music is such a universal thing.
Yes.
And the thing about it, like all the music that I do, I'm pretty much, personally, my personal music that I actually do for myself, outside of the projects with others, is mainly, instrumental. So, there's no lyrics usually in my music that I put out, but the rhythmic of it, the melodies and things like that, I feel like, people they usually tell me, that Gary, we love your music, how do you come up with the music and so on and so on. But usually basically the answer to that is it's just something like we talked already before, it's just a thing that's always in me. So I just feel like it's a really God's gift blessing, because, I read music. I mean, I can read a little music, but I really can't, what I'm saying. If somebody was take a piece of sheet music and say, Gary, get out there and do this or whatever, I'll be struck. But I've always been able to just put the music down. So it's just a blessing. Like I said, I can't say anymore.
That's okay. I do understand. And it's great because it's so natural. It just comes so natural for you. And I can hear that, and I've heard your music. It's amazing. Yeah, it really is. And then on top of that, you're an artist, which we're going to get over into the subject of AI. You had shared with me your AI video music episodes. You got a part 1 and a part 2. And I was able to download it from YouTube. So I want to share with the audience, if you don't mind. I want them to see all the work that you put into it. It is absolutely amazing, guys. Y'all got to see this. We're going to play it now right here on Bring It in the House. Yeah.
Discretion is advised.
Hey, CTK, what up? What up? How's it coming on the music, man?
Yeah, G, it's coming out great. So far, I added some more horn parts to the mix and just about to wrap things up and send it back to you.
Cool. I know it's going to sound great, man. As you know, I've been working on the video for our collaboration. Can't wait till you see it, brother. I think you'll be surprised.
Oh, yeah, man. I know it's going to be on. It's going to be gangsta, dude. We know your work, man. Can't wait. Late night in the studio last night. I'm starting to get sleepy, man. About to take a nap.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah, man. I'm starting to get sleepy myself. Long night last night working on this video and putting the finishing touches to the track. All right, man. Catch up later.
All right, G. That's what players do.
Oh my God. I don't want to, I don't want to spill too much of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Gary, congrats, man.
Thank you.
So that's the first episode. Now the second episode is going to be released today. Did I read that right? October the 25th.
25th, yeah, it'll be next
Next
Saturday.
week. Next Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so good. Now, Gary, I mean, AI is amazing. I mean, tell us, just kind of elaborate on how long did it take you to perfect those images like that, and how long did it take you to put it all together?
Well, I tell you what, let's see, I started about, I want to say back around February is when I actually first started. So, February up to now, I mean, this is basically, now when we released the very first series, it was August the 16th. Was the very first series, and it was so crazy, Millie, because I was like, a friend of mine who I do videos for on a regular, which I would do, like I would go out sometimes and shoot film clips of certain things, and then bring them in to edit with other clips that I've put online to make somebody. But when I got word about the AI on how it works. I end up finding, doing some research, of course. And once I got into doing the research, I was able to watch some videos on YouTube just to kind of get a clear understanding on what you got to do, the basics basically. And then, of course, with my art skills and Photoshop and all that kind of good stuff. But, a little bit more to make a nice video come out like it does. So, but yeah, it's just been a few months. It really hadn't been that long, Millie, that I've kind of picked this stuff up on my own.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Okay, did you get an AI certification? Did you have any formal training? But I can see self-taught.
Yes, self-taught.
Wow.
And, I was so amazed by seeing something here, not too long ago that was done by AI, and I was really impressed. It just kind of lit a light bulb in my head. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and see what I can get into. So a friend of mine, the guy that's my partner in the series, if you see his name, CTK, and me and him kind of clicked on some ideas for the storyline and everything. And that's how we kind of came up with the deal. But yeah, it just kind of took off from there, and I was able to go in and it's kind of crazy because the way the AI works, when you're creating these video clips, you're having to basically become a story writer. So you're actually coming up with your ideal and you're writing, typing it in a prompt and telling, a story of what you want this or this character to do and certain things like that. So it's really interesting. It's really cool. And it's all based off of images. I can, like for me being a character in it and the other people that are in the series, a lot of the characters that we don't know is just made up AI characters, that I actually created. But
I was about to ask you, was every character in there real? But you just answered that too.
Yeah. The only characters that were in the series, the first series, that are real people would be me, Clarence, which we call CTK, and then Von Coulter, which is my other co-host on the radio show that we do. And then, of course, I had to include Mr. Rat. Yeah, at the end.
So I saw you, let me see. It was like the club scene. And I mean, I'm like, how did they do that? And you were dancing with a beautiful lady. Is she real too?
No, that was an AI character as well.
Get out of here.
A serious heart attack. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you know what I said? I said, man, I didn't know Gary could dance like that. He's light on his feet too.
Yeah, yeah. I fooled a lot of people. They was like really thinking it, and I kind of down and had to, kind of let it out. But yeah, it's amazing. It really is, Millie. I'm so impressed with this AI programming, and it's just amazing what you can do. So it really opens up so many opportunities and different things that you can do, art wise and things like that for your videos. And in fact, it actually inspired me now what my next big project I'm going to do. In the meantime, while we're doing these series, I'm actually going to try to do like a mini biopic on myself, on how G House Productions came involved, from the years from all the way up to now. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, of course, this is Mr. Gary Houston. He is super talented. I'm telling you, check out, let me get the name right. WPD. That's it. WPD, the music video movie series 1. So you want to check that out on YouTube. And then coming next Saturday is the release of part 2 on October 25th. So that's so exciting. Are you guys going to have like a release party for all this hard work you're doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to do a premiere party actually on the 25th. So if you're able, in fact, we're going to do it on our podcast, the Indie Live Spot, which airs on YouTube, and we'll be doing that next week, the 25th. So we'll kind of basically like we did the first one. We did the first one too the same way. We did it, kind of released it, kind of talked about how we kind of came up with the ideal and kind of gave everybody an idea of what was going into it, and then we premiered it. So we're going to do the same thing this time next week.
Oh my God. I would love to be a part of it if that's possible. I'd love to be a part of the celebration, your premiere. So,
absolutely. Okay. Well, wonderful. I will definitely details over to you.
Yes, please do. Please do. So Gary, with everything going on, I mean, what do you got any last words of encouragement? What can you say to someone who is trying to get into your lane, that field that you're in, and they don't know how to get started? What can you say to them?
I always follow that Nike motto, just do it. Get out there. Don't be afraid. There's lots of instructional videos on YouTube out there that will teach you things that you might be curious about. Just like, that's kind of how I really actually got into this AI adventure. And so, just be consistent, always stay, look at the head game, of course. And then for those out there, in the music, same, just, don't give up, just stay in it. If you really enjoy it, if you really enjoy it, you will do that.
You'll stay in it. That's so true. This is Mr. Gary Houston. I got some photos here. You got to check him out there. Go to his. Look at that. That's a superstar there. Gary, I love it. Gary is doing great things.
Well, I'm still in Oklahoma. This is where I reside. I have my side job that I have to do every day. I'm actually service electronic person. So I work on wireless remote control radio for like high power equipment. So we can actually build a wireless radio system that can actually make a train go, car, trucks, bucket trucks, and all kinds of stuff. So that's my other life.
Your other life.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you want to find out more about Gary, go to his website, GaryHouston.com. You can follow him on social media. He also has a GHPradio.com. You can visit him there. He's got so many websites, the GHouseProductions.net. And if you want to book him for your events, there's his number, 405-708-3137. Thank you again so much, Gary, for stopping by. Congratulations on all your success. Any shout outs before you go?
Yeah, well, for one, I'm going to shout you out because you took time to include me on your show, and I really appreciate you so much. And I'm so happy to be able to connect with you again because it's been a long time.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a while. It's good to see you, and I'm just loving seeing all your growth and everything you have done. And This is amazing. It's so amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Gary Houston right here on Bring It in the House. We'll see you back here next time, Gary. Thank you so much.